Hello, my name is Nicholas. I have a message for the 3D printing business, 3D printing industry. Today's subject is 3D printed, synthetic, crystallized car parts. So the idea is here, it's also going to be composite of 3D printed acrylics, transparent, possibly slightly tinted, different colors, but it's a synthetic 3D printed crystal car part. So with using layering of the crystal car parts, there's a possibility of putting solar panels into these crystallized car parts. And if you think about it, by layering, angling solar panels inside the crystal car parts, so it's going to be hollow vascular. Anyways, I like that raw, natural crystal look. Uncut, natural, crystallized. I like that texturing. I think everybody loves really cool. Who hates crystals? Anyways, the possibility of putting solar panels in these crystals, the synthetic crystal car parts, you're increasing the surface area of light absorption. You're increasing the reflection of light. You're increasing the absorption of light. And you're increasing the power of the crystal car part by increasing its surface area. So, say microwave size, typical solar panel is a two-dimensional flat surface. Photons hit the solar panel. 90% of the photons is dispersed off the solar panel, and only 10% of the photons are converted into electrons in the flat two-dimensional solar panel. Typical solar panel is only 10% efficient. So it's like possibly taking 100 square feet. Say you have a 100 square feet solar panel, and we are crystallizing it like a crushed can. We are crushing the solar panel into 30 square feet of surface area. In a typical vehicle, the surface area is typically about 30 square feet. So we're taking 100 square feet of solar panels or more, and we're compressing it into the size in the car parts, into 30 square feet of a car. And we are increasing the surface area of the solar panel. Another thing about solar panels is they only use one side. It's a flat two-dimensional surface. 90% of the light reflects off, 10% is absorbed, and it's only using one side of the solar panel. So by angling and layering, kaleidoscope effect inside the crystallized car part, you might be able to generate 3 times more electricity using a larger surface area in this synthetic crystallized vehicle car part. So that's a thought, but I think that's a definite plus. I think that's a definite extra super cool kind of concept here, having a car part that generates electricity. Possibly 3 times more electricity than the typical surface area. It needs to be compact. So, anyways, okay. Let's talk about the fabrication and design of the crystal car. There is a possibility. There is a possibility. I'm thinking we could take any vehicle. Take any vehicle. Remove or possibly remove or keep the exoskeleton, the skin, the sheet metal covering the car. Leave it on, possibly take it off. And just leave there's an endo and exoskeleton to architecture. Endo exoskeleton. Everything has endo and exoskeleton. So removing the exoskeleton and then gluing, bolting, attaching the synthetic crystal car part onto the vehicle, on any vehicle. I mean, it has to be custom designed for specific vehicle shapes. But that's what I'm suggesting here. So, take a car hood of a vehicle, 3D print synthetic crystal all over the vehicle hood. Reattach the hood to the vehicle. Possibly do the same thing with car doors and all the other car exoskeleton parts. We are crystallizing. We are synthetic crystallizing synthetic crystals directly onto the exoskeleton of pre-existing vehicles. So there's that. There's so many different methods of doing this. Then there's the conventional method of making a 3D printed crystal car part. Pretty basic. I think that's self-explanatory. You 3D print synthetic crystallized acrylic transparent car parts and then bolt it all together. Weld it, glue it, epoxies. You don't weld acrylics, but it would be assembled like Legos. Assembled like Legos. 3D printed crystal car parts. So you could make small microwave-sized car parts and then epoxy, bolt, weld, whatever methods of attaching it together, the crystallized car parts together. So you're putting it all together like Legos. There's that possibility. There's possibility if you have a big enough 3D printer, there's a possibility you might be able to 3D print a entire vehicle crystallized. I don't know about everybody else, but I think everybody really loves really pretty crystals and that raw, natural. You can do so many interesting texturing, layering effects with synthetic crystals using acrylics and resins and epoxies and stuff like that. You could do some you could make synthetic crystals look more awesome than natural crystals. You could do some pretty interesting stuff with synthetic crystals. So, and I think the possibility of integrating the silica dioxide, solar grade silica, into these solar panels, turning it into a crystal that generates electricity. the crystal that generates electricity. And for its size to weight, the idea here is because the solar cells are crystallized and layered, we are increasing the energy output of surface to weight ratio. So there's a possibility, if it works, possibly 3 kilowatts. If the idea is we're increasing the surface area of light refraction, we're increasing the absorption, we're increasing the light reflection, surface area, and all that stuff. So it should have a higher output of electricity for the size of a typical vehicle, which is about rounded off at 30 square feet, out not including the chassis, just 30 square feet of surface area around a vehicle. Okay, and okay, what else am I missing? Those are the methods. Contact me. I'm on Pinterest. Nicholas Warren Talbot. My name is Nicholas Warren Talbot. Metallithic.com. Metallithic. METALLITHIC.com. Email me and leave a message. Let's get to work on Superfly Bling Bling and put together some possibly do some small scale prototypes. RC, microwave size, RC car, the size of a microwave or something, crystallized concept vehicles. And I got a whole bunch of this vehicle designs on my Pinterest page. And I got arrested for taking a nap in my van. The judge is trying to put me in jail for 6 months. I get out of jail for taking a nap in my van, and I look at the news headline. I see aerospace companies getting multi-million-dollar grants and business loans from banks, making my aviation concepts. It gets really weird with deep state Goonies. I don't want to get into that. Yeah, they do it on purpose. So, anyways, aircraft as well. There's a possibility of making synthetic crystallized aircraft. That'd be Superfly Bling Bling. Superfly Bling Bling. Okay. So let's brainstorm about this. And I think that's a super cool idea, having electric car parts that generate electricity. Possibly 3 times more electricity than the typical surface area of a 2-dimensional solar panel. Possibly 3 kilowatts. Possibly 3 kilowatt. The idea here is it's going to be Superfly Bling Bling, super cool. Does not corrode. These materials do not corrode. Needs to be solar resistant. So don't want. There are plastics, acrylics, and such that decay in solar radiation. So it needs to be resistant. That's about it. It should last a very long time. Non-corrosive. Does not rust. It's probably going to be heavier. Add a little bit more weight to the vehicle. Depending on how you do it. It's probably going to add more weight, but you're going to have more power. 3 kilowatts should get things going. I imagine as like the combination of a hybrid or something if you're able to put electric motor on your vehicle and this crystallized exoskeleton on your vehicle. So like we're putting a turtle shell, we're putting a shell on your vehicle. We're putting a synthetic crystal shell on your vehicle. Glues would work. It possibly as easy as gluing it on, wiring it up into the power supply and battery, and into your vehicle. So that's something to brainstorm here. It shouldn't be too hard to do. The concept is very simple. But contact me. Let's brainstorm about it. I like that raw, natural, organic. That is very simple to do. You don't need any fancy designs or anything. Just like throw it in there, make it look kind of pretty, and keep it natural, organic, raw. Gemstone is really, really cool. So it's kind of abstract. Don't even really need possible. So I think that makes it simple as well. The possibility of keeping it raw, natural, organic, crystallized layering inside the synthetic crystal, so you don't need any, special design or something. As long as it's strong, it's so obsidian, that would be super cool. Like, because it would match with the silica solar panels as well. So like a tinted, like obsidian vehicles with silica dioxide crystallized solar panels, that would be really cool. I like rubies. I mean, anyways, you could daydream about this all day. It's going to be super fly. Possibly 3 kilowatts. I'm putting 3 kilowatts on your vehicle. Okay. So, hybrid vehicles, put electric motors on your vehicles, and let's get to work. I think, what am I missing here? I think that's good for a brainstorm right now. Let's think about it, and contact me, text me if you can, and I'm not going to give out my phone number, and let's get to work. Okay, thanks, bye-bye.